Hey guys, before the video gets started, I would like to show you guys how you guys get notified on when we upload new content, whether it being beat videos, tutorials, or beat sessions. Just go to the subscribe button, click it, you'll be subscribed, and then click this, send me all notifications for this channel, save. And what that'll do is you'll be notified whenever we upload a new video. Now time to get into the video. What's up guys, it is Andrew Peer here at Beat It AT Production and Publishing. I'm bringing you guys a new YouTube video. In this YouTube video, we are going to be going over on how to make your pop song, or more specifically your pop beat, have more oomph, come out more, have more clarity, sound nice, sound almost professional and such. And what we're going to be going through and the elements we're going to be covering will be mostly mixing and not so much of the mastering, but covering through what do we do to pretty much make what we have not sound cluttered, and for us to listen to it and actually enjoy and be able to work through it. Now currently I just have a very basic, kind of like a breakdown section of a pop song. I got like a little SFX, I got some drum samples. All of these are my drums or SFX, and then up here are all my instruments. So all my instruments are red, mostly just using Massive and Nexus for the piano and a Massive for the synths. So let's start off, and I'm gonna play what I got. As I said, it's just kind of like a draft, what I would call an idea, but I want to make it come out and sound more pristine, so it doesn't sound cluttered. So let's listen to it. And it just loops. So it still needs like a nice big break, and it needs some more elements into it that will make it flare up a little bit more. It also needs to have the progression and a lot of other stuff. So I'm not too worried about the actual progression of this beat or layering it all out. We're going over how to mix it. So in FL Studio, I'm going to select everything and track it. Route selected channels starting from this track. So that's pretty much going to route all of our instruments into our mixer. And this is our mixer. This is where we can start doing some of the mixing. Now, on my master, I do have a limiter, just so we don't go over 0 dB, or just to avoid any digital clicking. And then I have this wave candy, which you guys can see up there. I moved it up there earlier. The wave candy is a good tool to pretty much show you what spectrum your sound is coming in. Now that's more for mastering and coming for this whole full spectrum sound, but I just thought it would be nice to let you guys know about that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab all my instruments, and I'm going to just pull them down halfway. This is what I like to do just so I immediately have more headroom for my drums. I like to mix everything kind of like as if it's a rap beat, because mostly the content on my channel is rap related stuff. We do a whole bunch of music production stuff, tutorials, beats, and such. But I'm going to go ahead and pull down every main instrument. So now if we listen to it, everything is kind of like in the back, and we got our drums coming up more so. So what I like to do is work one by one first. So I'm going to start with this piano. And we go ahead and see how loud this piano is. I'm gonna pull it up a little bit. I want to put an EQ on there just so we cut out some of this low. Maybe we could do a little boost in the high just so it comes out with a little bit more saturation. The EQ is a equalizer, parametric EQ in FL Studio. What this is going to allow us to do is cut certain frequencies, so we can kind of cut the mud out. We get to pick what type of sounds we want. So I want some of that like low bass notes. But then I really want to get some of this upper texture. I'd be very careful with doing a lot of adding to your EQ, because you don't want to add too much frequencies. It can usually cutting is the way to go, but you can get a nice little effect with or a nice little sound with that boost in the high. So let's go to this bell art. We could boost it up a little bit. Maybe pull that. I want to get my kick drum and my snap. So I'm doing the same thing. This is with that little bell arp. I'm just gonna do a little dip in here, just a little bit of a dip, and then we're doing a little boosting. So let's get that kick, and let's pull down that high, push it in, do a little dip right there, do a little boost. I like to go for the 60 hertz because the 60 hertz has this nice little thump to it. This is a it's not worth talking about that one. Let me grab this SFX real quick. Let's pull that down a little bit. So I'm building everything kind of around that piano because the piano is our main point. I'm gonna add a little bit of a stereo separation right down here. This is gonna allow us to either separate the sound in a stereo manner or push it in through a mono form. Normally I just do a little bit stereo separation on some instruments, and then I'll do a mono effect for my 808. But for this one I don't have an 808, so it's not really worried about doing any mono. So this is like one of our main plucks to the beat that kind of adds some bounce to it. We go grab another parametric EQ. I like just EQing everything because I want to make sure I have full control of what sound is coming through. So when I'm painting, kind of like painting my frequencies, I know what is what. And when we you can see those plucks coming in. Here, let me use the tool. The plucks will be they'll have this like weird little curve down. You can kind of see like how the pretty much sound, how sound is I'm trying to figure out the right word. How sound is displayed, I guess. in a room environment. So yeah, you guys can kind of see that. And it looks like in here, a little bit of there, we got some really good like meat in there. So I'm I want to try to get more, so I'm gonna cut a little bit more of that low out. So, all right, so let's play. So this is our sub. I'm not too worried about the high end, because the high end, as you can see, is like treble. There's a lot of it's like the transient sounds. And since our bass is a bass, well, we clearly want some bass. So I'm gonna focus with a little bit of a bump right there. I'm gonna probably cut down, maybe like right down there. So I do like that bump out, that like pluckiness of it. So I'm gonna keep some of that mid, because if we, oh, well, I hate. Oh, there we go. So yeah, you can probably see that little pluckiness that goes through right there. So I'm going to start turning off some of the stuff, go back to our piano. So we can see when that's all the noise that's coming in from that sweep down, but I'm going to get a EQ for the hi-hat. I might do a little bit of that merging, that mono on the hat. So let me just. Now I call this my main melody. So we're gonna also come back to our kicks and snaps. I just go in a very broad stroke, and I really don't want to use up too much time. And I really just like, whenever I'm mixing, I always like to work with everything individually, and or not individually, but have the piano or like the kicks and snaps or certain elements individualized to then like main focus points is what I guess I would say. So then when I'm mixing, I can have a standard to go from. So I guess this would be a good note to so have a focus point for your mix. I'm gonna make this one main melody more stereo, because I don't think I'm gonna have it ever solo. It's always gonna be paired with something, and so I kind of want to have it. It's called the main melody, but it's mostly a main sound, so it's gonna be up front. So I really want to get rid of that low. And also, kind of like a side note, whenever we cut, so yeah, that was a horrible arrow. But when we cut like down here, this like little range, pretty much it pushes more room up for over here. So it pushes pretty much the volume, because you're cutting, when you cut down in a certain frequency, the sound has to go somewhere. So it will kind of push it to whatever points that aren't being cut. So that's another reason why I tell people you really shouldn't be focusing on doing a whole bunch of boosting. It can work for certain things, but try to do less. Usually less is better. So I'm going to do a little bit more stereo to that SFX. Now we're going to probably have to start adding in some other elements. And as you can see, we quickly change our levels from just that quick bringing our levels, or how I really should say, we changed our faders, because originally we had our faders just like flatlined, but now we kind of have this like little groove. And I'm not saying you should have like a groove with your faders or your levels, however you want to call these, but my point is we're definitely getting past that initial stage to just bring all that volume down. Well, our goal is to blend everything. It's art. I mean, I don't really need to say much more past that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. We got this little snare. Now with my kick, I do have this one little cheat sheet for, especially if you have FL Studio. I like to use this Maximus. And I'm not the biggest presets guy, or at least not anymore, but there's this one preset called Kick Pump. It's such a nice little flair to your kick. You see how much more beef that brings to our track? What if we take it off? I like to have my kick really punching through, like really hard. I was punching my fist to articulate that, but I want that kick to come through, not so much with a pop joint like this. I don't want to go so far into it where it sounds like a rap track, but given that rap is the main, is a very big focus on pop music nowadays, I do like to implement that bit of flair of rap, especially in my mixing. I'm bringing these levels down. I'm holding Control Shift and selecting the different ones just to bring them down just a tad bit. Same thing with my snare. I'm just tweaking that. This is kind of like another rhythm snare. It's not so much in the main. And we can always make these drums just a tad bit brighter, so I might just do a little bit of shelf gain. And when I mean a shelf, this is a shelf. Well, this is really subtle, but an exaggerated shelf would be like something like this, because it looks like a shelf. I don't really know any other way to describe it. It's like a step almost. So this clap is a little bit different, and I'm actually use it as an additive, or I don't know if that's even a word, but in addition to spread this snap out and beefing it up. So I don't really want a lot of high end, I just really want more beef, whatever that might be. And another thing is I might even add a reverb to it. So just, there's already a bit of reverb on that clap, but I really want to make it like an echoey clap. So I'm gonna pull that wetness up, pull down that bass, and pull up that decay so it goes longer. Change my room environment to look a little bit different. Wetness is gonna allow the effect to come in, whereas the dry is gonna show more of the sound without the effect. I'm gonna go ahead and do a new sheet. And we're gonna pull that down. And we do have that one clap at the end. That's the big bang clap. So now I do have this little percussion here, and I'm doing a pan to the left. So I don't normally do too much panning, but I like to do a bit. I'm gonna pull down these just a tad bit. I want this rim to come out, but we could probably make it come out a little bit more with that EQ. Now I do have this little drum percussion loop. I'm gonna just do a very small EQ, and we're almost kind of like there with a very solid starting mix. And you guys can apply this technique and this through your tracks, just going one by one and just get that frequency and just get the sound you need. Get rid of all of that clutter. Alright, so I'm cluttering out a lot of this, but there's really no point to have it. I'm going to do just the ever smallest flare of reverb. Now it sounds, there's more room. We got more room in this. There's not so much clutter, and we definitely, it's sounding more pristine. I mean, it's gonna sound nice when we're all done with this track. So this is pretty much, and I mean, if we, here, let's take a look at this, go back to Spectrum. Let's look at this little meter so we can see what is all being affected. We even have more open space in here, but as I said, this is kind of like a breakdown, and all in here I got some high notes because this is going up to that 15K frequency. We got a lot of low. There was a lot of low end, which is fine, but we have some room in here, which is good to leave room for the vocals. I would imagine the singer of this would fill it in, fill her vocals. I would assume it would be a girl. Her vocals would fill in right here, and as I said, it's a breakdown section. So when we hit that big chorus, I'll probably add like a very EDM style chords or synths that will fill in or help fill in more space. So yeah, I mean, we had a whole bunch more space to fill in here. So when it comes to like actually finishing the song, we're not quite done. It doesn't have enough energy, but when it comes to the mix, this definitely sounds a whole lot more clean. So I was just doing some tweaks in the low, a little bit to the clap and a little bit to the snare. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. If I pulled up my limiter, you could kind of see the levels that we're dealing with now. So I wanted to pull down that drum lip a little bit more, but yeah, this is pretty much it. We could, I mean, we could add even more flair if we wanted to. This is very basic level, but this is how you help expand your track, get an understanding of getting your stuff to get to a more clear sounding, and avoid that clutterness and just big block of sound that will pretty much hinder your track in the long run. Now, of course, we should be mastering this. We should probably even add a little bit of compression, just to bring a couple elements out. But when it comes to clarity, this is going to make your pop track sound a whole lot more clear. So hopefully this is helpful. I have more videos for you guys to check out. That'll probably help you guys for achieving good mixes, get more clarity in your beat, as well as helping you guys get a starting foundation on making your own brand as a producer or networking with more producers. I even have a couple online courses. The link to those are always in the description. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys later.